Hi and welcome to today's vlog. We got up fairly early in the house this morning, and it was mainly down to the fact that my daughter was heading off. There's a new ride opening at Thorpe Park today, and my daughter's headed off there with a bunch of her mates, and she wanted to get there early to make sure she was in the queue. And it reminded me of the Robin Sharma book, the 5 a.m. Club, and I was kind of thinking that through and thinking, how I really embraced the kind of concept behind the 5 a.m. Club, and kind of thought it would spend a bit of time today just looking at that and both relevancy and actually application in the real world. So from a perspective, and to give some context, the 5 a.m. Club breaks down. You get up at 5 a.m. every morning and you go straight into a cycle pattern of doing three things: 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reflection, and 20 minutes of learning. And the idea behind that is it encourages you to really step back from anything else that might be going on, and allows you to focus and set yourself up for the day. And I guess the benefits that can come from that include things like increased productivity and focus. Also, the fact that it probably allows you to define what you want to do with your day a little bit better, and make sure you've set yourself up properly. Gives you more time for exercise and personal development. We're all really bad at taking a step back and actually helping ourselves to grow as people. And also, that 5 a.m. period will give you a quieter environment for reflection and planning. So, it kind of brings together a set of benefits. But then, having been married for 24 years now, and having lived in a relationship where I'm the morning person and my wife isn't necessarily so, I kind of started thinking about, and I commented a lot when I was reading the book that it was something that should be relevant to everyone. And I kind of wondered why it might not be the case that it's actually a really good thing for everyone. And came across the concept of circadian rhythms. Now, I'm neither a medicine person, sorry, apologies for that, or a anyone who can recommend any form of kind of clinical advice. But what I would say is the circadian rhythms are basically the natural oscillations that run through your body and repeat on a roughly 24-hour cycle. In all living organisms, and obviously as we are a living organism, it's how it kind of works. The the kind of key and fundamental bit of this is the internal body clock, and that plays a crucial role in regulating how the various psychological processes we have. Now, the key thing in this is the sleep-wake cycle, and the fact that that's a natural cycle for all of us. Someone might be really happy waking up at 5 o'clock. If you're anything like me, you'll probably be on the sofa asleep at 8:30. But by a similar token, some people are much happier getting up at 9 and will happily be awake till 2 o'clock in the morning. My mother-in-law is a classic example of that. So I have a kind of relatively strong belief that if you accept that these circadian rhythms exist, if you then try and apply something like the 5 a.m. Club to it, that might give you difficulty with actually your sleeping patterns. And should you be forced changing it? Is it a bit like jet lag, where you're kind of forcing someone into a different pattern of something, and can that actually damage the sleep that they get and how they go about doing their business? So effectively, the conclusion I came to on this, and having managed teams where I've had people who were much better at night, whereas I'm much better in the morning, and people who are really good during the day. I think what I'd say is the methodology behind the 5 a.m. Club is absolutely fantastic. The idea that you take a step back, and everyone should encourage themselves to do that during the day. But what I would say is I'm less convinced that doing it at 5 a.m. is necessarily the right approach to everyone. My 5 a.m. might be someone else's 11 p.m. and you've got to find that right cycle to allow you to get into this. The final thing I would say is, though, if you are going to adapt the time that you do this, one of the benefits of doing it at 5 a.m. in the morning is that you are disciplined. It brings discipline, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest that People who commit to exercise, the further you get through the day, a lot of people kind of stop and don't necessarily exercise as they would do, whereas people who get up in the morning and do it. And actually, if you look at the evidence, I'm a Zwift rider, and if you look at the evidence on Zwift from some of the business reporting they've done, people who register for rides and they register first thing in the morning, a higher majority of people do those than people who register for rides later in the day and then don't attend because they get distracted by other things. So the key thing in this, whatever time of day you do this, you've got to put in place some of those little habits that you need to get in place to allow you to ensure that you have the discipline to allow you to do it at the right time of day. Thanks very much. I hope this topic's proved interesting. I'd be really interested to hear people's comments on this, whether they feel that you should force change perhaps people's behaviour and do that stuff at 5 a.m, or whether you feel that you've got a much better structure for doing it elsewhere. If you like the vlogs, please subscribe to them on the YouTube channel, but I'll see you again over the next week or so. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.